I get asked this all the time. How do I make my flowers last longer? And if you've ever noticed when you've purchased flowers from a florist, you get a sachet that's handed to you to include into the water once you get home so you can enjoy your flowers longer. So I've now been sharing my secret with my students about how to create your own floral sachet recipe. And believe it or not, it is in your pantry at home. Now I've written the formula up on the board, as you can see. 25 mils of vinegar, which I've got here on the bench. 25 mils of bleach, yes, bleach, and 10 teaspoons of sugar, preferably white sugar. And can't forget, you need 5 litres of water. Now with water, as florists, what we do the night before is that we fill up all our buckets with water to enjoy and use the following day. And we do that deliberately because water burps just like humans do. And it releases an element called chlorine, which most flowers are sensitive to, but most of all they're sensitive to fluoride in the water. And this is why time and time again I encourage my viewers to use filtered water. So what I've decided to do today is get out all my ingredients and demonstrate to you how to make flower food. So as you can see here, I've got my plastic bucket that I've filled up with 5 litres of water. Now this water has been burped. You need a minimum of 4 hours to have your water burped. If you're using filtered water, you don't have to worry about burped water. So there's my 5 litres. Now to my left here, I've got white vinegar and a measuring cup, and the board reads 25 mils of vinegar. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my cap off and I'm going to measure 25 mils. Oops. Now that's 25 mils of bleach. Yes, that's definitely bleach. So I'm just going to put that in, pour that in. Next in line is the bleach. Now you can use any type of brand when it comes to bleach and also vinegar. They're really all the same. So again, the board reads 25 mils of bleach. So I'm just going to use my measuring cup again. That's 25 mils. I'm going to pour that into my bucket of 5 litres of water. Make sure you always put your caps back on your bleach and vinegar because we don't want any messy accidents. And lastly is I need 10 teaspoons of white sugar. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, how exciting. Now, using my wooden spoon, I'm going to then mix all those ingredients together so they can become friends. And now it is ready to use. Now, I'm going to tell you why I've used these ingredients and what each one stands for. The reason why we use vinegar is because it keeps the pH level in the water neutral, a bit like a fish tank, you know. You need neutral water for the fish. And it's also a disinfectant as well. So if you've got any fungal nasties happening on the stem of your flowers, any diseases, it takes care of that. So it's a bit like a medication, right? Now, what the bleach does is that if you've got a vase that hasn't been washed properly, it takes care of any nasties internally that are floating or stuck against the vase. So that's what the bleach does. It gets rid of those nasties. And lastly, the sugar, what it does, it's a bit like carbs for us human beings. You know, it gives you that energy. So if you're after flowers, especially roses, when you buy them budded and you want them to bloom, sugar is the energy the accelerant that's going to make your roses go boom, bang. And that's the effect that we want for our events, you know, showy roses, not bud roses. So if you're after something and you want to accelerate, you know, them to open up quicker. So for example, I've got a lily there that's still in bud. I'll just bring that closer to you to see. So that's open, that's closed. Now if I want to accelerate that to open, you need to think of sugar. And lastly, flower food water, you don't have to replace the water in your vase anymore. Like they say, you've got to change your water in your vase every day. Now what flower food water, the difference is that instead of changing it every day, all you do is you can add to it. So as soon as you see the level of your water going down in your vase, all you do is start adding more water to your vase like that. On the third day, you need to then replace all the water that you've got into your vase and start all over again. Now, flower food water can only last if you've put it aside for 7 days. After 7 days, you need to then get rid of it. My advice to you, don't pour it down your sink. Believe it or not, your veggie patch and your lawn will love flower food water. Now, I want you to think of flower food water like this. I'm pretty, famous with my analogies, but the reason why I share them with you, these analogies, is because you will remember them. And the analogy is, just like there's premium petrol and unleaded petrol, yes, premium petrol costs more, but you're going to get extra kilometres out of your car opposed to using unleaded. And they say unleaded is pretty nasty for the engine of your car, a bit like tap water is nasty for your cut flowers to drink. So flower food water, if you're after extra vase life, you need to think flower food water. But there is one final tip for you to remember when it comes to native cut flowers, so anything with a woody stem, so we're talking about Banksias, gum, because they have a woody stem, it is a big no-no to use flower food water. So I hope these tips have inspired you to go and get productive with your buckets and your ingredients. And on that note, I'll see you next time.